He spent 10 years fighting a brutal war. Then it took him 10 more years to find his way home. By the time he arrived, his son was grown, his house was besieged, and he had become something those who loved him barely recognized. This is the story Christopher Nolan recently adapted for the screen. The original Greek text is a brutal 12,000-line log of psychological endurance. For 3 millennia, the myth has presented a sanitized, sun-drenched adventure. We picture marble statues and noble kings, but that version masks a narrative of immense, unrelenting trauma. This is an ancient study in what happens to a human soul when it is stripped of its men, its family, and its identity. When the walls of Troy finally fell, it was because of a trick, a hollow wooden horse engineered by Odysseus. He was the master strategist, the man the Greeks called upon when violence alone was insufficient. That intellect kept him alive, but his ego triggered his downfall. After blinding the Cyclops Polyphemus and escaping his cave, Odysseus manages a flawless tactical retreat until he reaches his ship. But he cannot resist shouting his real name back across the water to ensure the monster knows who defeated him. Polyphemus prays to his father, Poseidon, the god of the sea. By screaming his title into the wind, Odysseus gives a sentient, vengeful ocean a specific target to hunt. This single act of pride transforms a military return into a decade-long cosmic trap. The universe starts working to unmake him. The true threats on this voyage are psychological. In the land of the Lotus Eaters, the danger is a terrifying peace. The inhabitants offer a flower that induces total amnesia. The men who eat it forget their families and their duty, preferring to rot in a comfortable numbness. Odysseus is forced to drag them back to the ships. The sorceress Circe weaponizes a different drive. She uses a feast and drugged wine to strip away the crew's humanity, watching as their own gluttony physically transforms them into swine. Odysseus resists these traps through an iron will. While his soldiers surrender to their base desires, he makes the choice to retain the painful memory of home. These early islands act as psychological weapons. The gods curate environments designed to reduce battle-hardened soldiers to pure, unthinking appetite. To find a way home, Odysseus is forced to the edge of the world. He digs a trench, fills it with blood, and waits for the shades of the dead to rise. He expects to find the glorious spirits of his fallen comrades. Instead, he finds his mother. She died of grief, simply waiting for him to return, a fact he learns for the first time in the dark of the underworld. Then he finds Achilles. The greatest warrior of the age tells Odysseus that glory is a lie. He admits he would trade every ounce of his fame just to breathe again as the lowest, nameless slave on the surface. Witnessing his mother's shadow and hearing a legend regret his fame shatters Odysseus's concept of a heroic return. He emerges from the dark with a new, ruthless focus on survival at any cost. He realizes that military glory offers nothing but a place among the ghosts. From this point on, sheer, calculating survival is his only objective. That new ruthlessness is immediately tested. Odysseus is forced to choose between the whirlpool Charybdis, which would swallow his entire ship, and the six-headed beast Scylla. As depicted on this ancient pottery, Odysseus previously bound himself to the mast to hear the sirens without succumbing to them. But Scylla requires a colder calculation. He deliberately leads his ship into her reach, knowing 6 of his men will be eaten alive. He makes the trade and never warns them it's coming. The drive for survival eventually infects his crew. Starving and desperate, they ignore his orders and eat the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios. In retaliation, Zeus strikes their vessel with a thunderbolt. Every man drowns except Odysseus. He washes up on the island of the goddess Calypso as a piece of driftwood. He is stripped of his men, his fleet, and his status as a king. The gods dismantled everything that defined him, until only a hollow survivor remained. When the sea finally spits him back onto the shores of Ithaca 20 years after he left, the return is stripped of all triumph. He arrives as an unrecognizable 100-year-old beggar. While he was navigating monsters, his wife Penelope was surviving at home. She used her own intellect to delay and outmaneuver 100 ruthless suitors attempting to steal the throne. The man who engineered the fall of Troy is forced to sneak into his own palace. 2 decades of trauma have turned the king into a stranger in his own kingdom. The tension breaks in the Great Hall. Penelope sets a challenge using Odysseus's hunting bow, a weapon so heavy no suitor can bend it. The beggar effortlessly strings the weapon, fires a single arrow, and the rags fall away. What follows is a locked door slaughter. He shoots the lead suitor through the throat, and alongside his son, executes all 108 men. No mercy is shown. The homecoming is ugly. A 20-year void created an unstable society that could only be reclaimed through absolute brutality. Christopher Nolan's lens focuses on the psychological weight of this ancient text, the version where every island is a prison, and the gods find human suffering beautiful. Reclaiming a throne is possible, but the journey changes the traveler so thoroughly that the person who originally left home effectively disappears.